What's up, Planet Pokey? So I have a OU battle for you guys here. This is actually like around the time that Garchomp first became OU, which is like, I think it's been about a month since I had this battle or something like that. I'm not really sure. But I was deciding to be exceptionally anti-metagame with my team. So it should be exceptionally interesting for you guys. But yeah, I was deciding to be exceptionally anti-metagame, and I was like, you know, what can I use to be anti-metagame? I can use Garchomp, Fortress, Genesect, Thundurus T, Jellicent, and Mamoswine. And it should all work out very nicely. So he's going to lead off with Hydreigon when I'm going to lead off with my Garchomp. And since I'm not Scarf, this is a bad matchup for me. Otherwise, I'd stay in, but I don't really want to take too much damage. He turns out, by guessing by this damage, he's probably a Choice Specs variety of stuff. At least that's what I think. And so I'm like, yeah, this isn't good. So I'm going to go ahead and get up my Stealth Rocks as I have the chance to. A little bit surprised he didn't go into his Espeonic predicting the obvious Stealth Rocks, because at that point I had honestly forgotten about the fact he had Stealth Rocks. So now I'm going to bring in my Thundurus T, which is obviously going to scout this Ferrothorn, hopefully. But he decides to stay in, which is highly annoying, so I'm going to just go for Focus Blast, not KO Ferrothorn, because Ferrothorn is bulky. He went for the Thunder Wave, though, so I'm not sure what he was thinking on that. Maybe he thought, for whatever reason, that he would, I don't know. Maybe he thought I'd switch. But, you know, I have Thundurus T, so I'm pretty good on not switching. I get a critical hit and a special defense drop, which is okay. Here I'm going to bring in my Jellicent as he reveals that he has Psyshock, which is terribly bad for my Jellicent, actually. Fortunately, it doesn't look like this Espeon has run that many, I guess, EVs in special attack. It's probably HP and speed, my guess is, and I'm going to go for a Scald. And I get a crit, which helps me KO the Ferrothorn. Otherwise, Ferrothorn wouldn't have died that turn. It would have died next turn, which would have been fine, honestly. Now he's going to bring in Lucario and go for a Swords Dance in my face. And I'm like, what is this? What is this? You just saw that I had Scald. Why are you going for a Swords Dance, bro? Because I get a crit and a burn. I'm being pretty lucky this match, which is unusual for me. If you guys are subscribed to me, you guys would know this. He's going to go for Extreme Speed. I'm not really sure why. Maybe he thought I'd switch or something. But obviously I'm not going to switch, so I'm just going to let him die to a burn, which is useful for me. Now he's going to bring in Bisharp, and right here he goes for a Swords Dance in my face. I'm like, what are you doing, bro? Could have gone for the Sucker Punch and gotten rid of me, but you gotta go for the Swords Dance and get greedy, and now you're burned. So now that he's burned, this is really not that threatening of a Bisharp. In fact, I'm pretty certain that I should be able to take some hits, especially since he just went for the Sucker Punch, which means I get a free switch in to my Fortress, and he goes for the Brick Break, and it does nothing, so I'm going to go ahead and Rapid Spin and get rid of those stupid Stealth Rocks. Now that his Stealth Rock setup, wow, that's a tongue twister. But now that his Stealth Rock setup is gone, I have really nothing to fear, and I go into Jellicent just because I expected him to do something else, and he gets, I believe, yeah, that wasn't even a crit. Bisharp is ridiculously powerful, but he was burned, so it was useful for me. Really, that was kind of death fodder, because I thought I might need Fortress a little bit later for death fodder afterwards. So right here, I'm going to go for the Ice Shard, because I expected it to do a lot more than it does. I expected it to outright KO, but it kind of makes sense that it doesn't, since I'm really not a Choice Band in Mamoswine, and he thinks I am, I think, at this point. So I'm not really sure why he switched out Haxorus. He probably should have just let it die at that point and gotten a safe switch into Espeon, even though Espeon died, or safe switch into Hydreigon. And right here, I'm going to go for the Ice Shard and try and KO this Hydreigon, but, you know, unfortunately it's not down enough. He's going to go for Fire Blast, which at this point is going to KO me, but he's actually Choice Specs, even though I didn't know it at the time. So right here, I believe I just bring in my Genesect, and yeah, I thought he was Choice Specs, but clearly he's actually Choice Scarf, which is a pain, because that means I'll list my Genesect without it really doing anything, which is highly disappointing. But, you know, that's what happens when you think that something's Specs and it's actually Scarf. Oh well, that is what happens. And now he's going to bring in his Exorus, and actually, you know, in Power Ice, I'll easily KO it at that range, so I really have nothing to worry about. And I believe that's pretty much the match. Yeah, that is the match. So the comment question of the day is in the description, obviously. So definitely let me know what you think on that comment question of the day. And check out my channel if you guys haven't already. But pretty much, we'll see you later, Planet Pokey.